made you first take an interest in acting?
My mom put me on stage when I was 3 to do a little talent show in the Valley in Texas. And I won my first trophy. And I just always enjoyed singing, really singing and dancing and stuff like that. That's what I did. And when I was in school, I always went to these really tiny little Texas schools that had no budget for anything artsy. But we did have UIL when I played. And it was the first thing I was ever really good at. It really was. I was a coach's kid. I was never good at sports. I was an okay student. But when I got to be in One Act Play, I suddenly had all this success. I started winning awards. I got offered a scholarship. So that really sort of propelled. But I didn't have any frame of reference for anybody doing it as a career. So it was just like, woohoo, I'm gonna ride this train as long as I can, because it's the most fun thing and best thing I've ever done. But I never thought that I would actually get to do it like for my job, I don't think.
Who would you say has had the biggest impact on your career?
Who has, or
Yeah.
who has had the biggest impact on my career? In a weird way, I mean, I guess my parents to some degree, just because they always supported me in doing what I wanted to do. But also I'll say I've had some really good teachers along the way that in my undergrad, I had a really, one of those teachers that you love him and you hate him kind of. And he was like, little Miss Thing, you will only get by on cute for so long. You need more skills. And he started planting this idea in me that I needed to really push myself. And when I went to, and it's one of the reasons I went to grad school. I got a master's degree in theater, and that's when they kind of beat my Texas accent out of me and exposed me to a lot of things that I had not done. Just gave me a bigger bag of tricks. And so I attribute a lot of my success to that bag of tricks. Because even today, I'm a voice actor and I love doing what I do. But my bag of tricks is greater than that. I do a little bit of everything. And in the voice world, I do everything from e-learning and training videos that you have to sit through at your orientation to Ochako and My Hero Academia, or audiobooks on Audible. So,
what would you say is your biggest break
my biggest break?
into the business?
Oh, 100%. It was Full Metal Panic. Was my first, Kaname Chidori was my first role ever. I did not know what this whole world was. And at the time it was ADV Films in Houston that was doing that. And there was a brand new director there who didn't know that ADV didn't necessarily want to go through agents. And he was from the advertising world. So he called my agent and said, I need girls to come audition for this show. And they sent me. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I'm very good at this. I went home and told my roommate that I was awful, that they would never have me back. And then I got cast in Full Metal Panic as the lead and promptly freaked out and was like, what is happening? And so I said, I'm gonna do a little research. And I went and got on the internet. It was probably dial-up then, you guys. And that was when I discovered that there was a whole world of fandom, that people reviewed your work and all of that, and that was my break. Is I got that role, and from then on it has been a steam engine. That was 18 years ago, 17, 16, that was a long time ago. But that was it. That role was it.
How do you feel about the legacy of Toonami, the fact that anime has been able to be on television, to be shown to all different types of people, especially since your voice and characters have been on the block with the recent iteration with My Hero Academia and with One Piece and Nami?
I am grateful for that. I mean, I think a lot of us that work in this industry that has for so long been looked at as such a niche industry really appreciates how the fandom has expanded because of access to the shows. So I think all of us would say that we're grateful for that opportunity. I mean, especially it's so nice, even though it's difficult on the production side, you sort of can't slow down change, and the fact that now we get also simuldubs and things like that, it makes the block even more exciting, I feel like. You know, like as the fandom increases, it's almost like, and we get to talk about it and share it more on social media and stuff, that it becomes this event, this community event every Saturday night, you know. It's cool.
Nice.
It's cool.
Having gotten a master's in theater, was choosing to do graduate work in theater a hard sell for any of your friends and family that you wanted to put that kind of money and time?
Well, yes, because I had to go to Louisiana. I went to LSU in Louisiana to do it. They didn't want me to leave Texas. But this is the thing of youth, right? It might have been a hard sell. I don't remember because I was just going to do what I wanted to do, right? Isn't that what you're like when you're 22? You're just like, I don't care what you think. I'm going, you know, and I won't have any money and I don't care. It's kind of how I felt about it. I also went, I remember, on an assistantship. So we got a certain stipend a month. I mean, it was not enough to, it was peanuts. It was something like $4.25 a month, I think. But that helped. But I don't know. That's the thing. I don't remember asking for permission. So that's my thing to you. You don't have to ask permission. They weren't paying for it. If they were paying for it, I probably would have had to ask permission, but they weren't, and so I didn't. I just did what I wanted to do. Go forth, kids. Make your path.
I know that you normally have the shortcut. Was it subconscious or on purpose to have the Ochako hairstyle?
Do you know it was not on purpose? Or maybe it was. Maybe it was my subconscious going, you need this sort of hair helmet, cutie pie like thing. Yeah, it wasn't on purpose. But somebody this morning in the autograph line asked me that too. And when it's down, you guys, it looks really like her. Like when this is all down, it would be even more pronounced. You'd be like, you're cosplaying right now.
You can see.
What's something that you're passionate about outside of acting?
Passionate about outside of acting. Well, I have kids, and they're 8 and 6. And one of the things that turned out that I was passionate about is they got to be school age, and where I live, public school and school, there's a lot of stuff around that. There's a lot of strong feelings and things, and a lot of pressure to try to get into the right school and a special school and the right fit and all that stuff. And it turned out that I was really passionate about the idea that my neighborhood has been fine for me to live in for 20 years. And my neighborhood school with my neighborhood kids are just fine for my kids. And that if it's not good enough, maybe those of us who live there should stick around and help it. So that's what we've been doing for 4 years now. I've been PTO president. And all kinds of things. But really what that is just, that's a story of like being a good neighbor, I feel like, and what kids deserve, all kids, and sort of fighting for that on a local level. I've gotten into that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What is something that you thought was true for a really long time and then found out wasn't?
What is something I thought was true for a really long time and I found out it wasn't? I know there's a deeper answer, and you're not asking about like song lyrics because those are there are a myriad of those.
That's perfectly valid.
But really, no. I like on the silly side of that is there are tons of things that I think are true that are not. Especially because I'm a reader, there are words all the time that I say with utter confidence that then the director or somebody goes, "You've been mispronouncing that lo these many years." And you're like, yeah, I'm a professional, it's great. But I think the older you get, some of us are older in the room, the more you're like, I thought things about people. And then you grow up and you realize that people are just people, and they're really, they're fallible. And those are hard days when you're like, Oh, but I thought you were the grown-ups in the room. Oh no, now we're all the grown-ups, and none of us know what we're doing. Crud. I thought it was different than that. I thought it was different. I thought the people in charge were always making the best choices, right? And that just doesn't happen like that. That is a huge bummer to me.
Same.
What's it been like to watch this meteoric rise of My Hero Academia to where people have been equating it to the Dragon Ball Z of this generation, and with you being a part of it?
Man, that would be so cool if that was true. What a great show for it to happen to. I'm ecstatic. I feel really fortunate. I mean, I should have said that earlier, that my success is dependent on these directors who hire me and put me in the role, right? And so Colleen, in fact, I wasn't auditioning up at Funimation for new shows. I was in One Piece, which, goes on forever. I was in One Piece, but I wasn't taking on anything new because I don't live in Dallas, and I was involved. I had kids at home in Houston, and it was this thing. But I was up there recording on One Piece one day, and they were having auditions for My Hero. And I was just hearing the buzz in the building that day. And I went and found Colleen, and I was like, hi, can I audition for this one? And she was like, would you? Would you please audition for this one? So I knew, I had a sense, you know these shows that everybody is excited to be a part of. And I think we knew it was going to be a good show. I don't think any of us could have seen that it would be this successful. But how wonderful that it is. It's worthy. What a great show. And one of the things I love about this show is, you've got your main characters that are amazing, but everybody's amazing. All of them are great. All of the actors are great. All of the bad guys are great. It's just such a great ensemble show. Makes it, I think, so much more enjoyable, that everybody is wonderful. Also, I think the message of this show is so relatable. It's going to bring in people who maybe wouldn't give anime a chance. It's a perfect gateway show, I think, for that. Also, just the message of the show that it doesn't matter what your quirk is or what your thing is. It can be Bakugo's insane quirk or a tiny little thing. It's all valuable. There's a place for all of it. It all matters. It's all worthy of nurturing. And there's a place for it. That's a long-winded way of saying, I get to be in this show. I'm so excited. I think it's great. I just love it. And it's exciting to see so many heroes walking around these cons. It's awesome.
What keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? I'm not really sure. I work with great people. I have a great job. It's widely varied. There's nothing to not like about my job, really, unless you're a person who really values stability. This job is not like that. I have a certain level of that because I've been in it for a long time. But part of that is because I do a lot of different things. I'm motivated by, I really enjoy it. I love the people I work with. They're great. I'm motivated by, I guess I just love my job. Also, I like that, getting to come to cons and things like that has just so expanded my sense of the world. It really has. It's just a huge gift. It's huge.
Who is one of those people that when you get a job and you realize you're going to be working with that person, like it's an immediate mood lift?
Oh gosh, so many people. We don't get to work with actors much because we're all in and out at different times. But I get excited at home in Houston. Kyle Jones is one of my favorite directors. We go way back. We go so far back. I've known these people, like his son is 15. I remember when that kid was born. So we all go back to old ADV days. Always Kyle is going to be. I love working with Colleen, Mike. We just all go back. But really, I mean, I was recently working with some of the newer directors, especially at Funimation. There are some newer directors, and that is super exciting because I want them to, again, I don't live up there, so whenever I get to see them and meet them at cons and work with them, it's super cool. They're the ones. It's always got to be a cycle, and I like them to feel supported and welcomed, and they bring fresh energy. It's good.
Speaking of quirks, if you had your choice, which quirk out of the show would you choose?
Out of the show, I would probably choose Momo's quirk. I think Momo's quirk. I mean, you have to know how to make it, but yeah. I think that would be really valuable. Does anybody have the quirk? Who's the guy that can, no, there's like no, I'm gonna cross Harry Potter and my hero. There's no like disapparate quirk, is there? Does anybody have that in the show?
What kind?
Like time travel-ish?
No.
Let's create,
Yeah,
that would be my quirk
teleportation.
though. I want a time travel. Well, really not time travel. I just want to be able to be like there's the guy who can sink into the wall and stuff.
Right.
Or into the floor. But wouldn't it be great if I could wake up in Houston and be like, I need to be in a studio in Dallas. It'd be so great. I could do that. Or I would multiply myself. Who's got the multiplicity? That guy.
What,
he's
twice?
Like, right.
He's a villain, right?
Yeah, twice.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
We have about 5 minutes left.
How excited are you to get the call back to record more Nami for One Piece, with the legacy of One Piece being one of the biggest animes
Lord.
ever?
Bring it. That's what I say is bring it. I remember when I got that phone call, because everybody and their dog auditioned for One Piece. When after Funimation got it after 4 kids, everybody was auditioning. And then the Japanese chose the cast. And when Mike called me, I remember I was in my bedroom in Houston, and he was like, honey, they've chosen you for Nami, but you need to know it's got 1 million episodes and you don't live here. Can you do this? And I was like, yes! Like, what are you gonna say? No. Yes, I will do it. So that's been over 10 years of my life doing that character. And how awesome. What a great thing, and what a great experience to get to be in a show where we all know each other so well. We know our voices so well. We know how it all should sound. And just recently I went back and started watching the show again at episode 1.
Nice.
Just like staring down the barrel of these hundreds of episodes. But I just wanted to, I feel like it's been so long that sometimes you get away from remembering what it was like. And anyway, I just started it and was like, why is Mike McFarland as Buggy the Pirate, the best character in the history of ever? He's amazing. And that's why he's Mike McFarland. But I had forgotten how great Buggy is. So yes, I say bring it. Bring it. It's always so exciting too. I know that One Piece, like Dragon Ball Z, like these shows, so many of these shows are parts of people's childhoods. And it's special. Whenever I see people who've watched most of One Piece, it's like, what? Not worthy. That's a commitment. Those are people unafraid of commitment. Date them.
We have 2 more questions.
Dos más.
You mentioned being a reader. When you're ready to start a new book, what is your go-to genre?
What is my go-to genre? It was for a while, I was just wanting nonfiction. I was wanting like memoirs and biographies and things like that. But I will tell you, right now I'm in a fiction phase, and it feels kind of cheesy, but it's totally true. Like I just did the whole series of the vampires. Oh Lord! And there was a TV show on it. Somebody help me.
Not Twilight.
Vampire Diaries?
Vampire.
Not the Vampire Diaries.
I have no idea.
Gosh dang it. Anyway, it's been that. I listened to this whole epic trilogy of vampire love. And I've narrated those books too, because I tend to narrate, I get a lot of YR stuff, young readers stuff, and romance novels. I narrate a lot of romance books. Blush, yeah, totally.
My wife
But-
probably heard you.
She probably has. There's these books by R.S. Gray. They're the best. Fox and Hound is the best romance novel I've ever narrated. Fox, F-O-X-E, because he's Dr. Fox, the veterinarian.
Oh my God.
Lord.
Okay. It's so good.
Our last question's gonna come from over here.
Oh, yes.
So, I know you've done shows like Clannad that have like a big emotional baggage.
Sob.
Was there like, it can even include Clannad, but was there any time where like you had to do an emotional scene where it actually kind of like got to you?
Yes. Princess Tutu. Bawled my ever-loving head off. I was really invested in that show. That was with another director that I really loved. His name was Jin Ho Chung. And I don't know, we just really, that show really connected. That was one of my like first gateway shows into actually loving it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I bawled my eyes out. That sounded so Texan just now. I bawled my eyes out. But I did. I bawled so hard. So I cried in that one. I also cried though in Full Metal Alchemist, because that scene. No spoilers, but I'm just saying. There's a scene where wrath. It's very intense, and body parts are. It's rough. In fact, there were two. There was one in the movie and there was one in this series where that both involved like him getting parts ripped off and crunched and pulverized, and I cried. He steals the movie, by the way. I'm just saying.